You walk into a bank with your head down, polite, respectful, maybe even nervous. They sit you down, offer you a chair. They smile, shake your hand. They give you financial advice. You thank them like they just gave you a blessing. Brother, wake up. Banks are not your friends. They're not here to help you get rich. They're here to make themselves richer with your money. The system wasn't built to lift you. It was built to use you. And the longer you keep treating banks like your superiors, the longer you'll stay broke and obedient. Rockefeller didn't kneel before banks. He didn't ask for favors. He walked in, numbers in hand, and gave orders, because he knew one thing: banks work for him. Not the other way around. This video is not just about money. It's about power. It's about learning to dominate your relationship with the financial system, not as a slave to credit scores and savings accounts, but as a man with strategy, structure, and unshakable confidence. By the end of this video, you'll never look at a bank the same way again. The lie of financial respect. We've all been taught the same thing growing up. Treat the bank with respect. Don't upset them. Be careful what you ask. Play it safe. But let me ask you this. Have you ever seen a rich man act like that? Of course not. Because rich men don't fear institutions. They command them. Rockefeller never treated banks as sacred. He treated them as tools, like a hammer, like a wrench. Useful but never above him. The lie they've sold you is that being respectful to banks is being responsible. But that's just financial obedience disguised as wisdom. You walk in needing a loan and they scan you like a risk. They look into your income, your credit, your personal life. They act like gatekeepers, like they have the power. But here's the truth they don't want you to realize. You are the asset. You are the engine. You are the reason their business exists. Without your money, they don't move. Without your deposits, they don't lend. Without your trust, they collapse. So why are you bowing? That's not what Rockefeller did. He walked in knowing his numbers, knowing his leverage, knowing exactly how much the bank needed him. This is how you start thinking today. Stop seeing yourself as a guest in the financial world. You're not a visitor. You're the reason the building even stands. Start talking to banks like they're your vendor, not your parent. They give you services. You give them profits. That makes you the customer, the value generator, not the subordinate. Switch the frame. Own the position. Speak like a man who understands that respect doesn't mean obedience. Asterisk. How banks actually make money. Let's break this illusion once and for all. You think your money sits in the bank, safe and untouched, right? Wrong. The moment you deposit $1, the bank doesn't protect it. It lends it, invests it, multiplies it. They pay you 0.5% interest, but charge someone else 8% on a loan. Using your money, that's not a favor. That's a profit machine. They take your discipline, your savings, your years of effort, and flip it into dividends for themselves. They don't get rich by helping you save. They get rich by making you believe you're being responsible, while they go out and hustle your money for their shareholders. Now here's the deeper issue. Most people don't even know this is happening. They think the bank is a vault, but it's really a casino and you're the chips. Rockefeller saw this clearly. He understood that the bank is a business, not a protector. So he treated it like a business. He didn't leave large sums idle. He negotiated terms. He moved money strategically with full control. That's the mindset shift. Stop treating banks like a safety net. Start treating them like a vendor who works for you, because if you don't, they will continue to profit off your fear, your ignorance, and your passive obedience. Your money is power. And if you leave that power sitting in someone else's system without intention, they will use it better than you ever will. The trap of saving with faith. There's a myth that's been preached for decades. Just save money and you'll be okay. Let's be real. Saving is important. But blind saving is a trap. The problem isn't saving. It's believing that saving alone will build wealth. It won't. You stash cash in a savings account with 1% interest. Meanwhile, inflation is eating 4 to 6% of its value every year. You're not saving. You're slowly losing. That's like pouring water into a bucket with holes and thinking you're making progress. Rockefeller knew this. He didn't save just to save. He saved with direction. Every dollar had a job. Every account had a purpose. He used banks to hold cash temporarily, not eternally. The middle class saves just in case. The rich save for deployment. Here's the difference. The average man builds a safety net. The strategic man builds a launch pad. Your savings should be a tool for positioning, not a place to hide. So don't fear banks, but don't trust them blindly either. You are the manager of your money, not its prisoner. You decide where it sits, why it sits there, and when it moves. That's power. That's how Rockefeller moved. And that's how you break free from the lie of safe saving. Because in the end, it's not about avoiding risk. It's about owning it with intention. **USE. The bank like a tool, not an AOT or parade. Here's a truth you were never taught. The bank works for you. You don't work for the bank. But most people walk into their local branch like they're visiting a king. They wait in line. They ask for permission. They hope for approval. Rockefeller never moved like that. He used banks like tools, efficient, temporary, disposable if needed. Not like temples to worship. So here's what that looks like in practice. You walk in with confidence. You know your numbers. You speak clearly. Here's what I want. Here's what you'll provide. And here's what you'll get in return. Banks are businesses. They want your money. That means you have leverage. Use it. Negotiate account terms. Ask for better rates. Set your expectations. Don't let them upsell you. Don't accept random fees. And don't be afraid to walk away. When you act like a high-value client, they treat you like one, but you have to believe it first. Rockefeller didn't flinch when speaking to financiers. Why? Because he knew the golden rule: he who controls the money sets the terms. You're not asking for charity. You're moving capital. And your capital gives them their profit. Use that fact. Let the bank know they're one option among many. Let them know you choose, not beg. That's power. That's Rockefeller thinking. What to show? What to prot? Now let's get tactical. Most people either overshare or hide everything. Both extremes are weak. Here's the Rockefeller move. Reveal what strengthens your position. Protect what exposes your strategy. Let's break it down. When you're applying for leverage, credit, or deals, show your strength. Highlight income. Show good cash flow. Be confident in your financial performance. But when it comes to personal details, business plans, future moves, stay quiet. Never let a bank or any institution see your whole hand, because once they understand your full structure, they start thinking how to fit you into their system instead of serving yours. Rockefeller played this game better than anyone. He gave banks just enough to close the deal. Never more. He used different banks for different purposes, never letting one institution hold all the cards. That's called financial compartmentalization. Here's what you protect: long-term strategy, hidden streams of income, exit plans, investment vehicles, asset flows across entities. Why? Because power respects mystery, and control respects structure. This isn't about paranoia. It's about positioning. The bank doesn't need to know everything. They just need to know enough to respect you, not control you. So next time you speak to a banker, ask yourself, am I strengthening my leverage or surrendering it? Rockefeller always strengthened his. Now it's your turn. Change the frame. You're on top. Everything changes when you shift one thing. The frame. Right now. Most people operate inside the bank's frame. I hope I qualify. I hope they approve me. I hope I don't screw this up. That's the voice of someone under the system. Rockefeller didn't play that game. He walked into banks knowing he had options, knowing he could walk away, knowing they needed him more than he needed them. He flipped the frame. He wasn't thinking, how do I impress them? He was thinking, do they deserve my business? And that's how you need to think from now on. You are not just a client. You are a capital allocator. You are the fuel. You decide where your money goes. You decide what terms you'll accept. You decide how much access you give. That energy changes the entire conversation. Suddenly, the banker starts leaning forward. They try harder. They offer more because they can feel it. You're not just another obedient customer. You're a player. Confidence isn't arrogance. It's clarity. And when you speak with clarity, you command the room without even raising your voice. So next time you walk into a bank, remember, you are the frame. You set the tone. You're not under the system. You're above it, managing it. That's Rockefeller power, and it's yours if you choose it. Control the game. ORBCONTROLS, make it crystal clear. This isn't about hating banks. It's about understanding your role in the system, because if you don't control the relationship, they will. If you don't move with strategy, they will move you into their strategy. Rockefeller mastered money not because he avoided risk, but because he refused to play the game on someone else's terms. He used the system without worshiping it. He negotiated with power. He held cards no one even knew he had. And most of all, he made the banks work for him, not rule over him. That's your path now. No more acting like the system is above you. No more apologizing for asking questions. No more hiding behind false humility. You move like an owner. You speak like a leader. You think like a builder of legacy. So here's the final truth. Banks are not your enemy, but they are not your savior either. They are a business. They are a tool. And you are the one in control if you choose to be. Don't let your money sit idle. Don't let your savings become fear. And don't let any institution define your worth. Rockefeller didn't, and neither should. You don't have to rebel. You just have to reframe me. This is not about financial rebellion. It's about financial sovereignty. You hold the pen. You draw the map. You make the rules. Because in the game of wealth, those who control the frame control the future.